The new 2024 versions of Photo Vision, Video Vision, and Stages are here, and they come with exciting new effects and features. In this video, I will be introducing you to the 2D camera pan effect that is available in Video Vision and Stages. This can be used, for example, to animate this book effect. This effect also assists you in quickly implementing other ideas. You can find the 2D camera pan in the object effects of Video Vision and Stages. I will also link you to the demo version so you can try it out for yourself in case you don't have the 2024 version yet. If you look at the effect in the timeline, you can see an object that includes 5 tracks. In the first track, there is a picture of a book background. The other 4 objects are placeholder images that are placed on this book. I will simply fill in the placeholder images once. For this, I drag my photos directly onto the placeholder object, the size. The position will then be automatically taken over. And then I'll play the effect once, and you can see that the first photo is shown first, and then the photos are panned out as the order within the effect dictates. This 2D camera pan effect simply takes the design work off your hands. You don't need to work with a Flexi-Collage and camera pans, but the effect automatically pans over all content. If you'd like a different photo as the last pan position, you can simply change the track order and then the pictures would appear in this order. Then let's take a closer look at the background. This is not a separate panning position in the sense that it's marked as a background in the properties effect. So here's this setting to use the first image as background. You can also just use a different picture as a background. I'm copying my first chapter here, and instead of the book, I'm going to take another picture. You will find many new great backgrounds for your projects. Among other things, there is this wall here. I now add it to the first track of the 2D camera panning effect and remove my book. Now the wall is my background, and then I can also place my pictures here a little larger. Rotate and rearrange and play the effect now. We see again how the individual photos are gradually lowered. Here are a few more tips. Pay attention to the blend mode you use. I had the alpha blending here with the wall, but I don't want that here at all because the wall should be there right away. I set the blend mode to none. You could also see black background in some places, for example. Here at the top right. Pay attention to the edges. This is because my wall is not big enough for the automatic zooms. And of course, there are ways to work around that. One way is to use the hairdryer for the background and change the color from black to another color. I've chosen a dark orange tone from the wall and the orange shock to conceal the transitions and hide the fact that the image is actually too small. Another option would be to enlarge the background image, this wall, and let it extend beyond the visible image area. You will need to see how it works in full screen though. This only works with photos or backgrounds with high resolution. However, you could try placing the photos not as far to the edge and make them larger, so that the zoom does not have to go so far to the edge. Of course, you can also make changes in the effect settings. A quick note on image effects. All of these photos in the template have a shadow effect which can be seen at the edge. If you don't want these, you can remove them. Highlight all images in the timeline, go to the Image Effects tab, select the top one, No Image Effect, and double-click. The shadow will be gone. You could also add other image effects, of course. For now, let's return to the effect settings and take another look at the background. In this example, we said that the first image should be used for a background, that wall. I'm going to show you another version without using the first picture as a background. I'll copy the chapter again. I'll remove the wall and uncheck the box in the effects settings here. Then I'll put a background outside of the 2D camera pan. For example, here's this space picture. I'll remove the overlay again. My 4 images in the 2D camera pan effect are now displayed against this background. And when you play it, you can see that the background stays still, and my 4 elements get panned in the front. You could also give the background image a camera pan zoom or use a live background. Give it a try. You can achieve a wide variety of effects with this 2D camera pan. But let's get back to our book story. I want to show you a few more things. I'll recopy the earlier example and remove all the image effects again. Then I'll remove 2 more pictures and reposition the remaining 2 somewhat. Make them a bit smaller so they fit right on the page. And then let's remember that each image within the effect represents a camera pan position. This is a neat thing, but it can sometimes cause problems. And that's why I'm going to show you a trick. For instance, I am now going to add a smiley as decoration. And I'll put it down here on the photo. So the tourist isn't so prominent. And when I play it now, the smiley creates its own camera pan position. And we see first the photo of Buckingham Palace. Then it goes to Tower Bridge. And the next pan position is the smiley. But in my case, I just want to see Buckingham Palace and the smiley together once. There's a trick for this. And of course, I'm going to reveal it to you. So you put the picture and the smiley face in a Flexi-Collage for this. Watch out for the duration here. You can change it directly at the effect. The contents of the Flexi-Collage are now considered an object. Just remember that the scaling is no longer done directly on the image. So I'll remove the motion path here. And I'm also removing the motion path from the smiley. And I'm putting the collage of picture and smiley back together here. Then I mark the frame of the Flexi-Collage and use it to set my size and position on the background. So I'll make the whole thing smaller. I'll take this rotation here again and I'll fit it right on the Flexi-Collage in terms of size. And when you play it back, you can see that there are only 2 positions in the camera pan, one from the Flexi-Collage and one from the second photo. You can also place labels on the pages this way, or work with more decorations. And maybe interesting too, if you want to show the big overall construction, that is the entire book, you can activate it with pans at the beginning and end at the effect settings. Then it doesn't start directly on the first picture, but it's a tracking shot on the first picture initially. And at the end, the overall construct is shown again if this check mark is set. To extend the overall duration of the effect, I recommend this new button at the top. This feature used to be hidden in the actions and is now much more prominently displayed in version 2024. This increases the duration of the effect and all internal objects to 15 seconds. And since I can imagine that some of you might want to chain together several such book views, I will also show you a variant of this. I will then also put this in the VIP club as a downloadable project. I have now added the book animation from before and added a second one behind that. The first page consists of this picture on the left with the smiley and the picture on the right. For the second page of the book, I'm going to quickly change it again to show everything. On the second page of the book, I have the picture at the top right, then the Flexi-Collage on the left side here, and the picture at the bottom right. If I were to play this one after the other, we would have the effect that the first page would transition into a long shot, and the long shot would transition into the image in the upper right corner of the second page. However, I want to end up on the image in the upper right corner of the first page, turn the page, and start on the upper right corner of the second page. To achieve this, I make some adjustments. Firstly, on the first page, which is also the first two-page spread, I remove the pans at the beginning and end as I do not want to pan back to the long shot at the end. I also increase the zoom so the last image shown with as less border from our book photo is possible, and then I keep the effect steady, because we still need all the components of the book for the transition. I make other adjustments on the second 2D camera pan, in the sense that I don't want to start with a pan at the beginning and end, but directly on my first picture. So I increase the zoom again so that as little of my book cover as possible can be seen, and then I wrap the effect in a Flexi-Collage. And this Flexi-Collage gets the blend page scrolling away. This will then cause the second double page to be scrolled through. When played, this is what it looks like. At the moment, we start directly on the first picture on the first page, and then we move to the second picture. Here you just have to make sure the sequence of the pictures in the individual 2D camera pans is correct. And if that's the case, when you turn the page, you wind up on the first picture on the right-hand side, and the rest of the pictures are panned away. And one last trick. If you now want the first double page to start in the long shot, you can achieve that with a Flexi-Collage effect. What I do is simply place an empty Flexi-Collage layer under the first page, which means this is now a swivel position. And I can do the same if I also want to show the entire structure one more time at the end of my second page in the long shot. Then I'll also place an empty Flexi-Collage layer at the end. I'll play it again straight away in full screen. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Thank you.